Welcome, everybody, to today's workshop about the hidden systems that unlock your law firm growth. Come on in and get comfy. We'll get started in a second. I just want to make sure that everyone has their microphones off and their screens on. It's great to see you all face to face if we can and get to know you a bit more. I'd love to know where you're from, what your practice area is, and where you are located. That would be really awesome. I've got my chat open so I can see everybody. Right now, I'm up sitting in the sunny Sunshine Coast, and it absolutely is the sunny Sunshine Coast right now in Queensland. It's really beautiful. So let's get started into the hidden systems that unlock your law firm growth. At the end of today, I'm going to be sharing more about how we can work together. And I've got a lot of strategies that I can share with you first today, but of course, we're not going to get through everything. And if you're cool, I'm going to share a little bit later on about how we can work together. So let's just get started. Into the workshop. So, what does your role as a law firm owner really look like right now? Are you doing all of the operations as well as a lawyer? Are you the bottleneck in the firm? Are you the first one in the morning and the last one out? Let me know what your role really looks like and what you really want it to look like. So for me, when I was running my law firm, at times early on in my practice, it really did look like I was doing everything. But what I really wanted was a law firm that didn't rely on me and a lot more freedom. So let me know where you're at right now with your law firm. What do you want it to look like? I think when we're in the weeds and the busyness, we can forget to take a moment to really see what is possible because we're just stuck in that momentum of just trying to get through the day and get everything done. So for this session, we're really going to be looking at the systems that can unlock how things really can be different. So Jake, hi Jake from the sunny coast, has said more freedom and balance. Absolutely, and that's absolutely possible. Possible. Hi Meredith from Sydney. We've got Marie from Sydney as well. And Deborah from Korong. I'm probably saying that wrong. Victoria. Southern Highlands, Felicity, Nicole. Hi, how are you? Brisbane. And who else have we got? Avril from Brizzy as well. We've got so many people on the call. Thanks so much for letting me know where you're from. Uh, so let me know what you really want it to look like instead. So consistent. Can you hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Yeah, sorry. Much of life is going to be happening between now and retirement. So it's really important that we have our law firms running really well so that we can really enjoy this amazing period of our lives. And we're not just waiting until it's all over and we're not just being totally stressed out by running our law firms. And one of the things that I learned about my law firm is what got me here to that first part of my firm won't actually get you to that next part, the freedom and the balance that we're really looking for. The systems, habits, and the mindsets that you've built currently aren't enough to scale to that next level. We need to do something differently. So if you want your law firm to give you more freedom, more balance, more profit, and really start what the hidden do. You need to think and lead and act differently, put some different things in place. So today you're not going to leave only inspired. There's actually going to be 5 action steps for you to take, and they are clear, proven strategies that are going to help you to grow your law firm. And hopefully you're going to leave with a fresh motivation today, so that you can really lead your law firm with confidence. And I'm going to give you some practical tools that are going to really help you to start systemizing your firm, which is going to help unlock a whole lot of freedom for yourselves. So I want you to think about where you're at now. So let's play a little game and guess. Oh, I'm going to guess some of the ways in which you might be feeling about your law firm. And I know because it's how I was feeling about mine. So in the chat, let me know if any of these resonate with you, and you feel this way about your firm. So feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, and worn down. You feel stuck and you don't know how to get past where you are now. That's number one. I know what that feels like for sure. Dreading driving into your law firm, you're feeling anxious about turning up. Maybe you've got difficult conversations or clients that you've got to deal with, and you'd rather be doing something else today. 3, you are wishing that your firm started running smoothly, and you're hoping for more clients, more cash flow and profit, and the right team members. It looks like everyone else is getting great team members except you. Maybe you're secretly resenting how others are doing better in their firms than you are, and you don't really feel proud of where you're at right now. Maybe that's how you're feeling, or it could be that you're disappointed because you're missing out on the great clients, great team members. Maybe you're not actually doing the legal work in your firm that you really want to be doing, and you're just really not sure like why that's happening. So now, chances are, if you're anything like any of the clients that I've worked with, you're going to be feeling at least one of these. So let me know which one you can resonate with the most. You may be wondering if you're ever going to be able to solve this challenge and run your law firm differently. But here's the truth: what you keep avoiding is actually costing you and your firm. Your time, it's costing your energy, your freedom, and your firm's full potential. So here's the real question: are you prepared to do something different after you leave this workshop today? The real problem is not just time, not just team and getting those right lawyers or team members into your firm. It's not even your to-do list being too big, which I know your to-do list is big. The real problem is that you're still the center of everything. And this comes back to the systems that we're going to unlock today. If your firm can't run without you being there, then you are the system, and that is not scalable. You've created a job for yourself, and what we want to create is a business that that can scale and it doesn't actually need you in there. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. When we remove the real problems, everything opens up a lot wider. You'll love your law firm and you'll feel proud of what you do. You'll have a passion and drive, and also be really rewarded with great profit in your firm. And you'll be acknowledged and praised and rewarded for the work that you do. When you've got an incredible team that you can rely on and the firm starts running without you, your days are so much easier, and the firm is working for you, and you have a lot of financial freedom. And that is absolutely what's possible. I'll tell you a little bit about my story and my firm, but the end part of the story is that I was working in my firm about 10 hours a week until I sold it last June. But it wasn't always like that. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So what I want more for you guys than anything is that you can create law firms that work for you as well, and you can create whatever you like out of it. A firm that you love, and one that gives you more purpose, so you're leading and you're not drowning in the day to day. More freedom, so time for your life, family, big picture thinking, stepping out and actually working on your business, and more profit. So for the effort that you put in and the value that you bring to those around you, that you really are happy with the profit that you're making. The thing is that you can survive the chaos, and many law firm owners do until they retire. But why do that when you can choose a different path, right? When you step into true leadership and a place where your firm can run without you, everything changes: your energy, your income, and your life. And I know this because that is what it was like for me. So this is me back in 2016. Looks nice. I had a great office, but I was feeling pretty crappy about my law firm. And I always felt like a bit of a failure, to be honest. Um, we attracted really difficult clients that didn't value the work that we did. And I could not seem to retain good staff. I felt like I just had to take anybody, particularly lawyers, just whichever one came along, even if they weren't a good fit, which just led to more chaos in my law firm. I couldn't seem to retain good staff, they would just leave. I was paying my junior lawyer more than I was paying myself at this time. And when I went home every night, I stressed about money and I stressed about getting clients in the door. And then I would put my kids to bed and keep working late at night. So I wasn't really proud of where I was at in my life or my business. What I did know at this stage is that I wanted more money so that I could stop renting and buy a house and have some financial freedom. And I wanted the flexibility to pick my kids up from school because they were the first ones in after school care in the morning and they were the last ones to be picked up. And that included holidays. So it was pretty sucky. I'd created a business that was literally sucking the life out of me and stealing time from my family as well. But I really thought it didn't have to be this way. So I mentioned I sold my firm last year. I did a big clean out of my office and I found a journal that I had kept from about this time. And I had written down at that time what I wanted my law firm to look like. I wanted to have cash in my bank. I wanted to have a decent revenue and great team members, and I wanted it to run without me. And I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I wrote the dream down and I then worked out exactly what I had to do. I made a decision that I had to change everything. I decided I wasn't going to let that law firm run me anymore. I was done with the overwhelm, endless hours, and being that first person that relied on me. And I didn't have all the answers at the time, but I knew that something had to change. So what I did do was got really intentional. I mapped out systems. I built a high performing team that could follow those systems, and I created a firm that could thrive without me. In the end, I was doing not a lot, a visionary, a bit of leadership, but I wasn't working in the day to day in my law firm, and it absolutely ran very successfully without me, and I got had a very successful exit. So it didn't happen overnight. It did take time, but one thing that for sure it did take was clarity, knowing where you're heading, courage to actually do it, and consistent action. But what I built is exactly now what I help other law firm owners create, but in a much shorter space of time because I have got all of the systems and processes that I implemented in my law firm as templates. And I give them to law firm owners so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just pop them in and away they go. And it just makes life a whole lot easier. But today, what I'm going to share with you is how to do it yourself if you want to as well. So, a little bit about me. I'm Carolee Fontanelli. I do wear a few hats. I'm a lawyer, obviously. I'm the founder of Collective Family Law Group, which I sold last year. I've coached over 400 law firms now. I speak. We also have created LawBizCon, which is a conference for law firm owners, which is in May on the Gold Coast this year. And I've definitely walked that path from burnout to freedom. And now I help law firm owners do the same. So let's build a business that works for you, not because of you. That's what I'm really passionate about helping people with. Now, we all need a why. And for me, mine was because I wanted more fun times with these guys, my family, the birthdays, the school drop off, the holidays, and to be present. And I wanted everything because I wanted my career and my business to be successful too. And they just grow up so fast. This is them, well, maybe a couple of years ago now. And so if you don't implement them, sorry, it keeps dropping out, and I do not know why that is happening. So let me know in the chat what your top three reasons are. What really matters to you? Is it more time with your family, financial freedom, or making a bigger impact without burning out? Is it just let me know what it is for you that is so important as to why you want to grow your law firm. Let me know in the chat. So, financial freedom and to make a difference in the regional communities. That's awesome. Um, that's that's so great, Deborah. All right, so whatever it is for you, more time with family. Yes, Jake, absolutely. Impact to the community and financial freedom, and to visit my adult kids interstate, more flexibility. Hi, Peter, temperance and balance. Definitely financial freedom, more time to work on other business ventures and have fun in the outdoors. I love that. Financial freedom and more time with the kids, more time with the family, and to be present and mindful in my daily life and travel. Absolutely. I think being present is so important because when we're so stressed out, and even if we're not at work, it can be really hard, or we go on holiday and we're not actually present. Um, we are still thinking about the office or what's happening there. It's amazing when you can go away on holiday and your firm runs even better when you're not there. That's the ultimate, right? Still love working my firm, just want to shore up my retirement. Absolutely, Karen, that's an awesome goal to have. And Michael, financial freedom, flexibility, more photography. I love that. And being with your family. That's so great. So I'm going to walk you through this little thing here where we're going to be talking about um, how you can actually get your firm where you want it to be. So you want to scale for more freedom and more profit. The problem is that a lot of law firms have unpredictable revenue, inefficient teams, and the law firm owner is often at burnout or getting close to burnout. Team, one that works without you, and we want our law firm to be automated. So this is where we're starting to feel that there's some success. So I'm going to do an exercise with you with this traffic light. So maybe on a piece of paper, or you can just walk through it. If you're a green, because you're all go on that area, you can tick a green. If you're an orange, maybe. Or if you're red, it needs some work. So let's walk through. There's 9 accelerators that I'm going to walk you through that really help with growing the firm and creating the scale and profit and freedom that you're after. So let's zoom in right now to have a look at the automated flow of clients. So what you really need here is you need some brand authority. So you're seen to be the expert in your niche and you're going to attract the ideal clients to you. People are going to refer you heaps of work. And if they need your services, they'll find you because you have that strong brand authority. Then you also need an appointment engine. So what the appointment engine does, it's automated and it qualifies prospects while you're sleeping. So you're not chasing or going backwards and forwards or dealing with any time wasters. And we know in law there's plenty of time wasters out there. And then we've got you being a conversion king. So your law firm knows how to turn inquiries into clients with ease and confidence, and you're not the one doing it. It's happening without you on autopilot. So now let's focus on the next part of the triangle, which is having a high performing team. So this is what takes you out of the day to day, right? What does a high performing team actually look like? It looks like a low maintenance team. So they're reliable, self sufficient, and they don't need constant supervision. A delegation pro, so you've got this implemented, so you hand things off with confidence, knowing that work gets done on time and it's done right. It's terrible when you're in a position of handing things over and you think I may as well have done it myself. So you want to make sure that everything's done. And then you want to make sure that there's a smooth delivery of legal services. That means that clients are consistently impressed, systems are delivery piece is being done as if a team that supports your vision so that you can lead at the top while your firm delivers the highest level of legal services. So now let's take a look at the automated law firm. So these tools are the tools and systems that your team can rely on so that your firm runs like a well-oiled machine. So what does a well-oiled machine look like? First of all, it's data driven. You know all your numbers in your firm every single week, and you can make solid decisions based on those numbers. No more guesswork of running from your gut. You've got an automated tech stack, the right tech, saving you time and money, and creating workflows that are efficient. And you've got your SOPs installed. So these are your systems operating processes so that your people are not coming to you for every query on how to do something, but instead they're relying on the processes and the systems that you've installed and baked in to your law firm. So these are the levers that will automate your firm. So let me know where you're at. Are you reds, greens, oranges? And you should have some of each for sure. I certainly did in my firm, and then you fix something, and then as your firm grows, what you had before is not quite enough. So you've got to go back and tweak it. So no one is going to be an all green. So it's knowing exactly where you're at as to what you need to do next in your firm to take it to that next level. So drop your color in the chat and really think about if nothing changes, then how are you actually going to achieve where you want to be? So I've got some reds, some oranges, which is great because what that means is that you can see all the opportunity, right? And you know exactly what some of those levers are that you need to be pulling. The first step towards this transformation to change. So today we're only going to be looking at SOPs. There's so much else, obviously, but we're just going to be about the 5 hidden systems that are going to really help your law firm move forward. So growth often feels harder than it should. Even when the revenue is increasing, law firms tend to bring more complexity and not more control. And what tends to happen as you grow, the owner becomes the central point of decisions, problem solving, and approvals. And this creates a bottleneck because you're only one person with the same amount of time as everyone else. Um, and instead of the team relying on clear systems, they rely on you, the owner. At the same time, your workload grows faster than the structure can support it. And um, this includes marketing, service delivery, team management, and often these are not aligned, and there's limited visibility over performance and key numbers. So while the firm is growing on paper, it doesn't feel sustainable or easy to manage, and this is because there are no systems in place. So growth without systems just creates friction, where increased demand leads to pressure, more decisions, and less control rather than more efficient and a more scalable law firm. I absolutely got my law firm to a point where it could not grow anymore because I didn't have these systems in place. Once I started putting the systems in place, it grew much more easily with ease. So your revenue may be increasing, but operations can often feel heavier. More clients are not translating into more profit or control. It just translates into more of everything: complaints, invoices, fires to put out, all of those things. You, as the law firm owner, remain central to everything. So everyone's coming to you all day asking, what do you want done with this? Or how do you want this done? And the teams are busier, but the outcomes are inconsistent, which means that you have to go and put fires out, um, and which is not a good feeling, right? So most law firms don't struggle to generate growth. What they're actually struggling with is managing that growth efficiently and effectively. So without clear systems and processes and structure, more clients and more team simply create more pressure on you. And reliance on you as the owner. So the issue is not the lack of opportunity. What it is the lack of systems to support and sustain it. So let's get into what you're here for, the hidden systems in law firms. So I'm only going to be giving you five today, but these are five to go and implement. And I'm going to give you a really straightforward structure so that you can go away and do that. So the systems are the law firm's behind the scenes processes, workflows, and decision-making frameworks that quietly keep the business running smoothly without relying on you. The most important systems in the law firm are often the ones that exist informally in people's heads, in the law firm owners' heads, or the habits, rather than being clearly documented or intentionally designed. So then there's no clarity in your firm. People don't know what they are doing. It's a real disaster because your staff don't know what you expect of them. And you end up just in a lot of drama all of the time, and you think that people don't know what needs to be done, but the reason is because you're carrying it all in your head and nothing is documented. As soon as you start documenting it, life will get much easier. So the informal processes um, versus structured systems, there's a big difference. Someone wrote in the chat as well that they want to get their firm ready for retirement, or they want to firm up their retirement. They like being in their firm, but they want to create something, I'm guessing, that's really sellable and worth something at the end of retirement. Systems and processes can help you do this. This is one of the reasons that my law firm sold for the amount that it did, and that the exit was so easy because it was a firm that had systems and processes in place. The law firm owner who bought it was not even in my state, and they could run the firm really easily because it was fully process driven. And so that's something that you can really put in place so that your firm is worth a lot more and much easier to sell. decisions being made repeatedly instead of once. So let's cut down your time that you're making these decisions and just do it once with systems and processes. Knowledge stored in people's heads instead of a process. So if you're in fear of someone leaving at any point in time, you're worried, oh, what if Sally Ann leaves and I won't know what to do at reception, or I won't know how to do accounts. If it's not drafted down as processes and systems, you should be worried. But you don't want to be worried about that. You want someone to just be able to come in and know how to do the role because it's a process driven role. And then we risk inconsistency across team members. So the way that one person delivers the service or does something is different from the next person. And that can become problematic as well. So if results are inconsistent, it's usually a sign that there's no clear, repeatable systems behind it, meaning outcomes depend on individual effort, memory, or circumstances, which is rather than the process that delivers consistent results every single time. So today I'm going to give you five, and then I'm going to show you what you need to do with those. So the first one is the client acquisition system. The second one is the consultation and conversion system. The third one is team performance system. The fourth one is a legal delivery system. And the fifth one is the financial and data system in your firm. So, client acquisition system, consultation and converting clients, team performance, legal delivery, and financial and data system there. So, let's talk first about the client acquisition system. So, client acquisition is the first critical system because consistent growth depends on reliable, predictable flow of new clients, not just people inquiring, but people actually coming in that are high quality, that are not time wasters. In many law firms, this is left to referrals or ad hoc marketing, and it really creates a lot of peaks and valleys in revenue when it's just ad hoc like that. So, a structured client acquisition system ensures that there's a clear channel for attracting client inquiry and that they're quality clients, that you're not getting on the phone to time wasters all of the time. Whether that's you or someone else in your firm, it's time is money in a law firm. A defined process for handling leads, and a consistent follow-up. How many of you are actually following up after you have a client inquiry or have an initial appointment? Lots of law firms don't do that, and that's where a lot of gold lies. So this is also, the firm is not relying on luck, but really a repeatable approach that drives steady growth into your law firm. So what to implement? So in this system, you need to streamline how your clients find you, how quality clients find you, how the inquiry is captured, and how quickly they're responded to, and guided through to the booking of the appointment. And this needs to be from you as much as possible. So when I ran my it's just landed in the diary. And then there wasn't my diary, it landed in a lawyer's diary. And the quality of the client was checked all the way along before they got into the diary. So this includes your marketing channels, your intake process, response times, and also a follow-up sequence as well. So when the structure is done properly, you can create consistent and professional client experience from the very first interaction without the law firm owner being needed to step in at any point. So this needs to be 100% away from you. So inquiries are handled promptly, communication feels seamless, and potential clients feel confident in choosing your firm because the process is really clear, responsive, and well managed. I don't know about you guys, but when we're doing a renovation at the moment, and when I ring someone and I don't hear from them, or I put an inquiry through online and I don't hear back from them, I don't even go to them anymore. And I'm a buyer. So I'll go to the person who gets back to me the quickest. So making sure that you've got a system that really works, and that you're capturing those clients so that they don't go down to the law firm down the road. So next up, we're going to talk about the consultation and conversion system. So this is next along the pipeline. So making sure that your consultation and conversion system is where your inquiries actually turn into paying clients. And without structure, this is where a lot of revenue can be lost. So what I see is a lot of law firms that depend on the law firm owner doing this consultation, and they overly focus on giving their advice, rather than really selling the process so that they can actually then help the client with the legal service. A lot of law firms also do not know what their conversion rate is between all of their staff, and this is really, really important. I had staff that converted really high, and I had some staff that converted very low. So they're not the ones that you want to be giving any initial inquiries to. And what a strong system does is it helps you to gather all of that information, and it really guides the client through the options, and the clients can feel really confident about choosing your firm. When it's done well, the conversion rate will go up in your law firm. You can improve that conversion rate by 10, 20, and 30%, which is how you want as close to 80% as you can possibly be with your conversion rate. And yeah, making sure that all of those marketing efforts aren't lost at this point in the client acquisition phase. So when this is done well, it creates a professional, consistent experience with your client. It removes pressure from you, the owner, so that you're not having to close or onboard all the clients yourself personally, and then you feel like you're the one who has to serve them. And your firm has a high conversion rate so that you know that all of those marketing dollars aren't lost. So that's a really important system to put in place. Making sure that you have got um, the right scripts in place for your team so that they aren't giving advice that they shouldn't be before a client actually retains you, and making sure that you don't lose a client during this stage. So, what to implement? Um, you need the difference between a conversation and a structured consultation. You need to guide clients through that decision making process, and make sure that the next steps are really clear. So pricing and expectations, ensuring that cost agreements are sent out right after the initial appointment. I know that there's a lot of firms that they're not sending their cost agreements out until a day or two later, and that is not going to help you with your conversion rate. And making sure that you, as law firm owners, are not doing your own cost agreements, that there's a system in place for the cost agreement to be done without you approving, and checking it, because then you become a bottleneck there as well. So that's just a side note on that. And also making sure that there's a follow-up system, because this absolutely improves the conversion rate. Let's talk about team performance systems. Your team performance system is really what ensures that your people are clear, people as in your producers, and your admin staff are clear and accountable on the consistent delivery that your law firm requires. Now, that delivery accountability should be at the level of your expectation, but often they don't know what that is because it hasn't been made clear in a system. In many law firms, performance is managed really informally, might just be in your employment contract, but this really leads to confusion, uneven output, and then the reliance on the owner to step in. So, what we want is a strong system that defines what success looks like for each role in your law practice, and that tracks the key metrics on a regular basis, and it creates a rhythm of reporting and feedback. So, this includes weekly KPIs, weekly scorecard for your law firm, and structured check ins so that performance is measured objectively and it's not just a perception in your firm. Why this matters is because when this is in place, the team knows what is expected. Issues can be identified early, and the firm can grow without the owner managing every detail of your people. When there are no clear KPIs or data points in place, performance becomes really subjective. And that is when things start to feel uncomfortable. So the subjectivity might be that your lawyers are super busy, but on in the bank account or what they're actually providing and bringing in isn't right, and it's not enough. They might only be producing 60% of their utilization rate, for example. So they feel super busy, but they're only producing 60%, which means that you're not making a lot of profit in there. And there's no point having team members if you're not actually advancing your firm. So at some point, a team member will come and ask you for a pay rise. June is coming, so it's all going to start coming around soon. And without any benchmarks or measurable outputs, you have nothing objective to guide that conversation. It puts you in a position where you're relying on opinion rather than data, which can make the discussion feel really difficult, emotional, or it can even feel unfair for you and for your employee. So, without any structure to refer back to, it becomes harder to justify decisions, manage expectations, and create clear pathways for progression. So, what you need to implement is clear roles, responsibilities, and expectations. You need to implement KPIs aligned with firms' outcomes, regular performance tracking and feedback, and also you need to reduce reliance on yourself for direction. So let's now talk about legal delivery, the legal delivery system. So your legal delivery system is what ensures that the work that your firm produces is consistent, efficient, and not dependent on you or any individual lawyer doing things just their own way. Um, Bottled mess. You don't actually know what they're delivering, or you're having to check everything. This creates inconsistency in quality, turnaround times, and client experience. Um, why this matters? It matters because inconsistent service delivery often leads to constant firefighting within your law firm. And you don't want to be spending your time putting out fires because legal service hasn't been delivered well, such as phone calls not being returned or maybe a wrong advice has gone out. When there's no clear process, issues arise unexpectedly, deadlines are missed, communication can become reactive, and the team is always trying to fix problems instead of preventing them, which is not where we want you to be. This doesn't only impact the client experience, it also reduces profitability because you might have to get something redone, some rework, or it's inefficient, or you're spending your time managing what would otherwise have been really avoidable issues. So it's really important that you have a structured delivery system and a firm that operates in a proactive mode rather than a reactive one. So what you can implement here is you can implement a strong system defines how matters are handled from start to finish. So you can include with this workflows, key stages, and all of this can be templated out beyond just your precedents, and also communication points. So it ensures that every file follows a clear process regardless of who's responsible for it. And when this is in place, you reduce errors, improve efficiency, and create more predictable and professional services for your clients without needing you to oversee everything. You can also implement simple trainings on Loom and systems and processes and your workflows. And this ensures that your team delivers high quality, timely legal work every time. And also remember, over the years, you're going to be getting new lawyers from time to time over a 10, 20, or 30-year period that you own your law firm. So you don't want to have to keep reinventing the wheel every time you get someone new. You want it to be standardized um, for them so that you know when you onboard someone new that they're following your workflows and your systems. All right, so next up is financial and data systems. So, your financial and data systems, this is really what gives you control and visibility on how your firm is actually performing. Without it, you're making decisions based on instinct rather than facts. So, this system should cover how revenue, expenses, profit, work in progress, also how many your inquiries, where they're coming from, how many you're closing, all of those kinds of numbers, utilization rate, billings, cash flow, all of that should be known every single week. And it should be easy to identify where the gaps are. When this is in place, you can make informed decisions, identify the issues early, and you can lead the firm with confidence. So, why this matters is that without visibility over your data and your performance, every decision becomes reactive. You're basically working blindfolded. It's based on guesswork rather than data. And this often leads to delayed action, missed opportunities, and you can sometimes feel that decision making is really tough. Now, it's interesting because as lawyers, we hate risk, but for some reason, when we run our own law firm, we seem to be happy to not know the data. And it's really risky. We're just rolling the dice when you're running your law firm without data. You, as a law firm owner, you're forced to make decisions on gut instinct, emotion, or assumption. And honestly, that is not a strategy at all. That's gambling. Every time you guess instead of measure, whether it's spending money on marketing, how your team's performing, a new hire, where there's profit leaking, you're risking time, money, and momentum in your law firm. So, data turns that risk into clarity. It shows what's working and what's not, and where to focus for maximum impact. So, in today's legal market, not knowing your numbers isn't just inefficient, it's actually really dangerous to be working like that. So, do you want to be uncertain of decisions in your firm, where every decision you make, you question it because it's just based on gut instinct? Or do you want to feel super confident when you make a decision? The data does not lie, and it makes it so much easier to make those decisions. So, what to implement? So, implementing data scorecards. Your practice management software is not enough. It's only part. You can only get some reporting from your practice management software. I've dealt with all practice management software. None of them do what we need them to do to run our business side of things. They only really run the managing client side of things. Your weekly scorecard um, is rather than monthly reporting is the key to so much of this. Tracking your key numbers that drive performance, understanding your revenue, profit, and your utilization, what your resources are. So, how much resource you've actually got in your firm. So, what the potential income is and where you're at with it, like how much capacity people have, and using data to guide decisions and not guessing. So by tracking those key metrics weekly and using a super simple scorecard, you can quickly identify what's working, where the gaps are, and if you need to take action on anything really early and in real time before small issues become really big problems. So the thing about systems is that they have a compounding effect. So where there is small improvements across different areas of the firm, they start to build on each other over time. When your client acquisition is consistent and your consultation conversion is really effective, your team is clear on performance, your legal delivery is structured, and people are following a workflow, your data is tracked, each system strengthens the next. So, what feels like small changes individually as you implement each of these systems begin to increase significant improvements in efficiency, profitability, and control. Instead of relying on effort to drive results, the firm becomes more predictable, scalable, and easier to manage these systems together. When I used to be in my law firm and I'd be away for weeks and weeks at a time, having breaks, holidays, not working, having these systems in place made that absolutely possible because I knew that everything would be running as per these systems rather than just as ad hoc, you could say. And they definitely do have this compounding effect. Small, well implemented systems create consistency, and over time, that consistency compounds into significant long term results. And what feels like small transformations really helps transform huge efficiencies, profitability, and control across the entire firm. Systems create reduce that decision fatigue, improve team confidence and performance. Your team knows exactly what the expectations are. Systems create predictability in revenue and operations. You can cash flow forecast a whole year forward, which is really awesome. And they allow you to step out of the daily problem solving. So Marie asked, who's closing the client? So when you're running systems, you don't have to close the client. One of your other producers or lawyers can close that client. So I did not have all my lawyers did all the initial appointments and closed, and I knew exactly what their conversion rate was, so I could keep my finger on that all of the time. So that's what I did, and for about 3 years, I never did any initial appointments towards the end. Um, and then Marie also asked, have you done any analysis on consults versus employed staff to build team, including comparative costs? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but absolutely, I knew exactly every single person's conversion rate, and I trained and helped them to improve their conversion rates because I didn't want to waste all my efforts, my marketing efforts coming in the door if they couldn't convert as well as I could, because as a business owner, you can often convert the best, but you can train them to convert like you, and you can put a system in place so that they can convert as well as you can, and then you're not stuck having to do all those appointments. And because if you go on holiday, then no conversions happen while you're away. That's no good. We want to make sure there's constant conversions in your firm. I hope that answered your question. Okay, so let's talk about some common mistakes that law firm owners make. So, these are some of the things that I think I see often is that they think their systems need to be complex or perfect before implementing them. I know as lawyers, we're often perfectionists, so they delay taking action, or they think that their practice management software is enough system. It's not. It doesn't do anything except house our matters, help us raise invoices, and keep our matters neat and tidy, as well as our precedents as we're working with clients. It doesn't help us to run our business side of things, which is where we get place Absolutely. As soon as you're a solo, start getting some systems in place with the idea that you're going to hire and replace yourself at some point. Focusing on the marketing only without fixing conversion rate, and making sure you know the conversion of all of your lawyers. Relying on memory and verbal instructions, delaying systems until the firm's less busy. That's a big mistake because you're just going to get more chaotic. And I talked about the practice management software as well. So, structure creates clarity and control. And growth requires a shift in how you operate your business. So, what got you to this point often is hard work and personal effort and being across everything. That's not going to take you to the next level of a two, three, four, $5 million firm, wherever it is that you want to take it. You'll not be able to get to those next levels unless you put some systems in place. Some of those habits, as your firm grows, they become a bottleneck and you become the bottleneck. So, to scale, you need to move from doing everything yourself to building systems, empowering your team, and leading your business with structure and clarity. So, moving from doing all of the work to leading the firm, creating structure rather than solving every issue, and focusing on strategy, not the day to day operations and being in the weeds. Building a business that does not rely on you and your constant input. So, implementation is where most firms get stuck. I'm sure that you guys all know that you need systems, and some of the things that I've talked about today are not going to be much of a surprise to you. But having intention to do it is actually not going to be enough. You actually need to take action. Many firms know what they should be doing, but they don't have time to implement it or the accountability to follow through. Systems get started but not finished, or they're up here, or they sit unused because you've created a system but you haven't embedded them in your firm and trained your team. So, without a clear plan for rollout, ownership, ongoing reviews, and implementation becomes really overwhelming and it just gets pushed aside for all of the urgent work that you have in your firm. This is why progress stalls, not from the lack of knowledge, it's from the lack of execution. Knowing what to do gives you the direction, but consistent implementation actually creates results without action, structure, and follow through. Even the best ideas that someone might have remains unused and the firm stays exactly where it is, right? Overwhelmed from trying to do everything at once, lack of accountability, and no follow through, not knowing where to start, and the importance of structural implementation all get left behind. So, with freedom happens when you build a team with a system driven culture so they don't rely on you. What you need to do is stop being the system yourself and you need to build the system. If your team needs you to function, you don't have a business, you have a job with assistants. And what we want you to do is shift from being reactive to proactive and empower your people through structure. What we need to do is let go to grow. This is one of our clients who worked with us. This firm was in a growth phase, estate planning firm. They were in a growth phase, and the law firm owner, everything relied on her. She had about 14 staff, so she was doing really well, but she was working ridiculous hours. And the more her firm grew, the more chaotic it got. So she gained so many hours each week and a sense of control when she implemented the systems and that actually supported the growth of her law firm. Here's another case study. So both of these firms have teams that they were struggling with. The teams were super high maintenance and they didn't know how to get their team to be autonomous and not rely on them for everything. But once they implemented these strategies, they were able to step away from the business and spend more time with their families. and I've got another one here as well. So this firm here had partners in the firm, so there are three partners, and the leadership team didn't always know the best way to streamline the business while growing the firm. In the first 6 months, they experienced a 22% increase in matters and a 32% increase in revenue. Plus, they started relying on the data as a team to make really clear, concise decisions and not based on different points of views, which is so important when there's three partners. So they also really knew what each of their roles were. So there was no crossover and it brought heaps of clarity for them. Uh, so, how did you learn to run your law firm? I'd love to know in the chat. A big part of running a firm is getting clients in the door and selling, um, and as well as doing what you do well, which is being a lawyer. But there's so much more to running a law firm. There's your accounts side of your firm and how that works. There's operations of the firm. There's the legal side. There's marketing and sales. And then there's you as a visionary as well. So, how did you actually learn to run your firm? I know that we didn't to run our law firm at law school. That absolutely didn't happen. Maybe it was from a previous firm you worked at. Maybe it was trial and error. Maybe you're still figuring it out as you're going. Um, so knowing what to do is not the same as implementing it. And without the real change, the firm's just going to stay stuck in the same patterns. So that's what we do at Scalable Law. We support owners. We help them implement their systems, give them the structure, the strategies, and accountability so that they can move their business forward. We work with all of these sections, the 9 accelerators, and help you to implement them all so that your law firm is running like a well-oiled machine. Today we've talked about the SOPs, and I've given you 5 of them, but we've got so many templates that we use to implement and help you to implement so that you don't have to sit there writing them all yourselves. We've got a library of them that you can implement into your firm, and they are proven systems and processes that we have used in many law firms, but also in my law firm, we use them as well. So I'd love to know what would the next 12 months look like for you if results wise, if you could have your dream 12 months, what would a great 12 months look like? Maybe it's better cash flow, maybe it's more clients in the door, maybe it's getting a whole lot of tools so that you can focus on your business more, work more on the business rather than in it. Maybe it's adding an extra 40 grand a month to your revenue. Maybe it's only working 25 hours a week in your law firm and not spending weekends working or working at home. Maybe it's simply taking a stress-free holiday. I'd love to know what that looks like for you. Let me know in the chat what the next 12 months would look like. And what would it look like if you were able to implement and master those 9 accelerators, or even just getting the systems and processes in place, which is just one of the accelerators, getting systems and processes in place in your law firm. So you could be a case study if you would love us to help you. We can help you to create a firm that doesn't rely on you. And if you're actually ready right now to start taking action, what we offer is a free growth call where you can chat with one of our team and you can see what is right for your firm. So every firm is different, and we want to come up with a strategy that is right for your firm and how you can really finally take action in the next 12 months and have that accountability where you're not procrastinating or putting stuff off because something else is in your way. I will get Lelaine to pop the link in the chat so that if anyone here wants to grab one of those free calls, um, then you can do that. So this month we're bringing together a bunch of law firm owners and we're going to help them get their business running without them. We're going to help them increase profits, freedom, and of course, peace of mind. So you can jump on one of those calls. We do this in the accelerator program. So we go through all of these things here. And we see so many amazing transformations in people's law firms. So in the program, we start by doing a growth call with you, and that's a one-on-one strategy call. And then we reverse engineer where you want your firm to be. So it might be more freedom, it might be more profit, it might be more time with your family. And then we anchor your progress across these three pillars, depending on where your law firm is needing the most work. Then within 90 days, you'll have massive traction towards your goal. So if you do want to jump on a 15-minute call, you can go ahead and book that in with one of our team, and we'll work out whether what your goals are and where you want to head, whether it's something that we can help you with or not. So in the program, we map out a game plan for you, and we work out a law firm blueprint for you. All of the resources that you need to systemize your firm, fix your data, your systems, your performance, just to name a few, that's all included in the program. So a lot of what we've talked about today and so much more, what it means is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel and create all of that from scratch. It's done for you, and we help you to bake it into your firm and keep you accountable every week so that you are heading towards a firm that really does run without you. We support you each week with coaching calls, trainings, and there's a whole online community of amazing lawyers as well. So one of the things that we guarantee is that if you we want to make it a no-brainer so that it's really easy for you to want to join us. If you don't love the program within 30 days, you don't have to keep going in the program. If you're not 100% satisfied with the training and all of the tools that we give you, so there's really minimal risk for you to see if it's for you. Here's another client who came into the program. This law firm took the leap and landed amazing opportunities in a fraction of the time, as if they'd done it all alone. This law firm owner was able to spend time significantly on her blueprint and start implementing her systems. She became a better leader. She hired an amazing team quite quickly, created automations in her marketing systems, and which really supported her growing team. And in less than 6 months, she had hired a practice manager, freed herself up of all the operations side of the business, and the day to day so that she could focus on running her law firm. This client here, she took her firm to the absolute next level and created an incredible brand authority. In the time that she was in the program, she also stepped away from the firm to have a baby, but her firm still grew even though she wasn't working in the firm. We set it up so that she could take that time away and enjoy her maternity leave with the systems and processes. And this law firm owner felt like their firm was running their life. Everything centered around the law firm, and they didn't know where to start. They felt super overwhelmed. But after joining the program, he gained so much clarity on his goals and the systems for the business. They are now feeling in control, lighter, and more confident in running their law firm. So if you have any questions, you can let me know in that chat. I'll just have a quick look as well. As if you've got anything, let me know. Well, I've got some commonly asked questions that I can run through. But if you do want to jump on a call, what we do is we have a growth call with one of my members, and we'll pop the link back in there as well. And it's just a call to find out more about what the program is about. If you're a good fit and you feel like we're a good fit, we then go into a further strategy call with my team. If you're not a good fit, we point you in the right direction and you can take what you've learned from the call and implement it into your firm. So the program is 12 months, but you can't really do it quicker than that. The reason is that building and scaling a law firm that doesn't rely on you, it takes longer than 12 months. However, the program's designed to give you a really good foundation, the right tools, and a proven framework to set you up for growth. By the end of the program, you will have implemented key systems, processes, strategies, and it will allow you to continue to grow and scale with confidence because plenty has changed. So the coaching is every Thursday morning. We have masterclass, hot seats, and then we have time where we solve your problems with you and help you out with those calls. If you can't attend, we record some of the sessions and so you can re-watch them. There's always something to implement, a system and process to implement into your business that week. And we encourage you to try and keep up as you can, so that your business is always moving forward. And so you can always find out what that is as you go. Um, if you want to stay in the program, we have lots of clients that reach their million, $2 million goals and goals of working less hours, but they stay because they love the community and they want to keep growing and learning their firm. So the accelerator program is designed around group coaching because it delivers so much more value than one-on-one coaching. Being in a group setting, you don't just learn from the coach, you also gain insights from other law firms who are successful and implementing the same strategies, and they might be a little bit ahead of you. And so you learn so much from knowing what other firms are doing. It means that you don't have to be the only decision maker in your firm as well. You can have other people help out with some decisions as well. You get real world examples from firms at different growth stages, proven solutions to challenges that you might not have faced yet, but other firms have, and a supportive network of peers. Um, so the success rate is that every firm is different and success really depends on your goals and your commitment and willingness to implement what you learn. So we don't promise overnight results. Most firms that fully engage with the program, they see massive measurable progress in areas such as your improved systems, increased profitability, and reduced reliance on the owner. So if those are some of your goals, then we can absolutely help you with that. So our track record shows that law firm owners who actively participate and follow a framework and take consistent action are the ones who achieve the most significant results. So the program gives you the tools and guidance to help you through. You can join Accelerator at special times during the month. You just need to jump on one of those growth calls, and then we can help you with any of those sorts of questions. And yes, it is tax deductible because it's business coaching. So if you are in, all you need to do is just grab one of those growth calls, book that in, and just have a chat and see what you think. Other than that, I think that's all I have for you today. I hope that you have enjoyed the session. And just remember that with all of the changes that you need to make in the business, you've got two choices really. You could do nothing and keep going the way you've been going and doing what you've always done, and tomorrow just looks like today. And if you're in a feeling burnout or stressed or anything like that, you will stay in that cycle if you don't change anything. But the other option is to take a risk, do a phone call, or take away what you've taken today and go and implement it. And that's going to help you to make small shifts forward and make those changes. So, if you can step out of that grind and find a way to grow your firm that's sustainable and profitable, and where your team culture is thriving and you're feeling great about your business, then that's really where I would love to see all the law firm owners that work with me, because I know that it can be a really great business. So jump on one of those calls. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you've enjoyed the session, and I would love for you to be in touch with us if you need extra help. All right, see you. Bye for now.